counts, he showed what appeared to be emotion for the first time on charges.
All fines and costs.
From stone-faced teens showing no remorse to criminals breaking down in hysterics after their sentencing, here are the most heated kids' reactions to courtroom death sentences.
Met the burden, so therefore I am going to find that there is probable cause to charge the individual with the down over 4 general sessions court for both charges.
Crying and wailing, begging for mercy when the matter is already out of his hands. It's a pity his tears have gone to waste since he chose this path for himself. It looks like we have an audition going on for Hollywood's new upcoming film in the courtroom. He sure wasn't crying when he committed the crime, but now he's drowning the whole courtroom.
I can't take back what was done. I wish I could. I would give my life for Austin. I loved him a lot.
Austin Smith was completely defenseless. That's a given. But there were other dynamics at work there.
Austin, Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt.
He thought he was a tough guy when he beat a kid to death for crying too much, and now he's the one bawling his eyes out like a broken fire hydrant in court. Ain't karma sweet? What happened to all this energy when he was out there, breaking the law and doing heinous crimes? The only place a tantrum will take him is the police van, off to the cold cells.
Not a bad person, but I made mistakes. But I'm not just some gangbanger that you tried to portray me as.
Stable.
Penal Code Section 12022.53D. This is to be concurrent.
This teen must have played a lot of GTA. He just walked into a party and started shooting as if he were a gangster. But now he looks like a glitch in the system. His tough guy personality must have gotten scared and took the day off on court hearing day.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree.
He really surprised everyone with that after the judge dropped that guilty on him. Mr. Tough Guy broke character going from emotionless to a weep in sorrow real quick.
If there were homicide, the court's going to adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 9 years in Florida State Prison. On count 2, same charge, court will adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 15 years Florida State Prison, and that'll run consecutive to count 1, for a total of 24 years Florida State Prison.
Now who could forget that one, right? The cute young boy who just mistakenly ran over a mother and child. This case enjoyed the oxygen of publicity on social media. Man thought his degenerate fans would be able to pull him out of that one after he went Vin Diesel in a Fast and Furious, huh? But they weren't able to.
So she's sentenced on count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life.
What was happening? So then we were in the waiting room. And then his mom ended up, she did call me.
This girl is the epitome of rash and senseless decisions and acts. Didn't she think about the law and authorities even once before speeding like she was in a Need for Speed commercial?
Sentence of the court is that the defendant shall serve the rest of his life without the possibility of parole with the Michigan Department of Corrections, credit for 8 days served.
Take a look at this one, sitting there like he's in a boring class, probably thinking about when he'll be having lunch. This is exactly the face of a kid who threw his life away with his own hands.
Cold-blooded murder, young man. And your counsel wants us to believe that you lack the capacity, that you were insane.
No tears, no regret, no remorse shown on his face at all. Instead, he decorates his face with a shameless smirk that only suggests that he's here to enjoy the show.
God! 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 God!
Folks in the gallery, you need to hold it down.
God!
A bit too late to seek religion, huh? From the moment this guy rolled into the courtroom, it was pure chaos. He made sure that his entry was one that all the members present at the court would always remember.
Dexter Darnell Johnson, the jury has found you guilty of capital murder. In accordance with the laws of the state of Texas, this court hereby assesses your punishment of death. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is going to complete your jury service. I'm going to meet you in the jury room.
All rise.
He was standing tall while breaking the law, but now he got jelly legs all of a sudden. That disappointed look isn't going to save him from what he signed himself up for.
Charges. All fines and costs.
Now, the tears want to make an appearance? Sure isn't going to save her from the hellish experience she is about to witness, though. She should have thought about it when she was committing crimes.
You have 3 warrants for armed robbery and 1 warrant for felony murder.
She's as confused as a chameleon in a bag of Skittles. Wake up. They're the crimes you committed. Where was this confusion when you were committing felony murder? And if one thinks a death sentence is the worst that could happen, he or she surely hasn't been slapped with a good old life sentence. Because let's be honest, even a quick death is better than suffering the horrors behind bars.
Why don't you go to the podium, please? The jury having found you guilty of murder in the first degree, Miss Mee, I will adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to life in prison without parole.
Felony murder, one of the most controversial charges out there. Even though she wasn't the one who pulled the trigger, she's just as guilty in the eye of the law and got a well-deserved life sentence for it. Standing at the podium must have made her realize this isn't just a bad dream at all.
Mr. Fucci, having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I adjudicate you guilty of the premeditated first-degree murder of Tristan Bailey. I sentence you to life in prison.
Acting like he doesn't care at all just makes him look like a busted NPC. He's just practicing how he would look when it's just him and the cold stone walls.
It is hereby ordered that you be committed to the Department of Youth Services until the age of 21, and furthermore committed to the Massachusetts Correctional Institution at Cedar Junction for the period of not less than 25 years and not more than life.
Oh, so you're just standing there like a mannequin in a courtroom, right? No flicker of emotion, no twitch, just a bad decision blank slate. Do you think stone-facing your life sentence makes you tough? Nah, it just proves there's nothing up there.
Be fair.
That's all you do, throw people away like that.
Mr. Rodriguez, down.
Rodriguez has previous arrests for acts of violence, but nothing sexual. His family feels his sentence was a bit extreme.
And here we've got a fighter, acting like life's unfair when you don't really have a choice. He didn't have much problem playing judge, jury, and executioner out in the real world.
Count 1 of the indictment, the murder in the first degree of Luke Hoyer. The court imposes a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole.
This guy looks more surprised than anyone else in the court, just like a poor deer looking at the headlights of an oncoming car in disbelief.